Hello and welcome to part 2 of your data sufficiency videos. Hi, I am Ravi. My Twitter handle is @RaviHanda and my email ID is ravihanda@gmail.com. You can use my Twitter handle or email to connect with me, to provide feedback, to give me some suggestions for improvement, and or simply to request for more videos. So I hope that before we go ahead, you have seen data sufficiency part 1, which is essentially the introduction video, the data sufficiency intro video. It'll be very difficult for you to understand and figure out the part 2 until and unless you have seen part 1. So I very strongly recommend that you watch part 1, the intro, before you proceed. Now, assuming that you have seen that, let us go ahead. Now, the question is x minus y greater than x plus y? Your answer could be a yes, could be a no. First one says x minus y are integers. Well, if x minus y are integers, that is not good enough. If both of them are positive, then x plus y will be the bigger value. If let's say one is positive, one is negative, it would depend upon the magnitudes and various things. So with the first statement, you cannot figure out the answer. How about x and y are negative fractions? Well, if x and y are negative fractions, then this value may be negative, may be positive. It would depend upon what are the individual values of x and y. Say for example, one is minus 3 by 4, whereas the other one is minus half. What do you get in this case? Minus 3 by 4 minus of minus half, you get a minus 1 by 4 as the value here. Minus 3 by 4 plus half will be minus 1 by 4. What do you get it as x plus y? X plus y will be minus 3 by 4 and minus half. X plus y will come out as minus 5 by 4. So which one is bigger? X minus y is bigger. In this case, x minus y is bigger. Will it always be bigger? Yes. It will always be bigger because one of the negative fractions, the y, will turn positive because you are doing minus y here. This will always be a bigger negative value. So with the help of the second statement, I can say that my answer is yes. So I have uniquely determined the answer as a yes from the second statement, that is from one statement alone. And if I can figure out the answer from one statement alone but not from the other one, what do I mark? I mark 1. Well, I am using the 4 option thing which I had used in data sufficiency part 1 of the videos. The key idea is that you can solve it just from statement B. For the instructions or why I have marked 1, I would suggest that you refer the intro video. Example 2. Is country X's GDP higher than country Y's GDP? Okay. GDPs of country X and Y have grown over the past 5 years at compounded annual rates of 5% and 6%. So very clearly, Y has grown more than X. But we do not know their original values, so I cannot solve it from the first statement. 5 years ago, GDP of country X was higher than that of country Y. So let's say initially the GDPs were X and Y. But if we do not know what has happened in the last 5 years, we cannot figure out the current value from here. By combining both of them, what do I get? I get 1.05 to the power 5 X and 1.06 to the power 5 of Y. Can you tell me which one is bigger out of these? This has grown more, but this was bigger originally. What I'm saying is the growth is higher here, the original was higher here. Can you compare these two? No, you can't. Until and unless you know the exact values of X and Y, or even some sort of a ratio, some sort of a relationship between X and Y, you will not be able to say which one is bigger or which one is smaller. Until and unless you can say that, you cannot uniquely determine the answer to the question. So the data is not sufficient to answer the question. and you will mark 4 in this particular case. Third one, what is the sum of the smaller sides in a right angle triangle where okay, let me first try and draw a right angle triangle. So this is my right angle triangle. The in radius is 5. Okay, so this is my in circle, touching here, touching here, touching here. These values are all 5, 5, 5. The circumradius is 10. So obviously with just the in radius I cannot find the sum of the smaller sides. Circumradius is 10, essentially it means that half of the hypotenuse is 10. With this, can you find out with just this much information that the hypotenuse is 20, can you find out? No. So clearly with statement 1 alone and 2 alone, you cannot do it. The question is, can you do it together, combine? Let's see. Well, the radii are 5, 5, 5. The portion that you will form here, this particular portion, will be a square. So this will be 5 and this will be 5. From this particular point, you are drawing two tangents to the circle. External tangents are equal in length. So this is 10 and this is 10. Now can you tell me what is the sum of these smaller sides? It is 15 plus 15, 30. So you have found out the answer by using or combining both these statements. By combining both these statements, so what would you mark? You would mark 3 as the answer in this particular case. The idea that you should understand is that in data sufficiency, it is not necessarily that you will get a word problem or something like that. This is more or less more of a quantitative aptitude question rather than a data sufficiency question. Because you need to know what in radius is, what circumradius is. Not only that, you need to know that the tangents from an external point are equal in length. You need to know that circumradius is half of the hypotenuse. So that is why putting it in DI might be slightly incorrect for this particular question, but you do get questions like this. So data sufficiency not only checks your logic, it can also check your ability to solve quantitative aptitude problems. So be careful with that. Let's look at one more question. Did Brazil win the football match? So for this, your answer could be a yes or could be a no. Opposition scored 3 goals in the first half. Clearly, you cannot do it from this because you do not know how much did Brazil score or what happened in the second half. Brazil scored 3 goals more than the opposition in the second half. Okay. So now this one has just information about the second half. So you cannot solve it from this also. The question is, can you solve it after combining them? Let's see possible first half scores. Possible first half scores are 0-3 or 1-3 or 2-3 or 3-3 or 4-3 or 5-3 or 6-3 or so on and on and on. 0-3 from the perspective, I'm talking the scores from the perspective of Brazil versus the opponents. Brazil comes first. So I do not know what the first score line was, but these are all the possibilities and this can go on till God knows where. In the second half, Brazil scored 3 goals more than the opposition. So earlier, if the gap was 3 against Brazil, at the end of the match, it would end in a draw because it would be 3-3. However, if it was 1-3 in the first half, Brazil would end up winning. If it was 2-3, Brazil would end up winning. If it was 3-3, Brazil will end up winning. If it was 4-3, 5-3, 6-3, 7-3 or anything like that, Brazil will end up winning. So what can you say? Did Brazil win the football match? Well, at best, you can say maybe. Why? Because it is possible that Brazil could have drawn the match. It is possible that it could have won the match. You cannot uniquely answer this particular question that whether Brazil won or not. It could be a yes, it could be a no. And since you cannot uniquely answer, you will mark 4 in this particular case. Let me just tweak the question a little bit. What is the difference in this question? Is it exactly the same as the previous one? Just check this one and this one. What is the difference? I guess you would have figured out that the difference is nothing else but the question is slightly changed. Instead of asking, did Brazil win the football match? Now they are asking, did Brazil lose the match? Once again, your options are either yes or a no. You cannot say whether Brazil won or not because it could be a draw or it could be a win. But did Brazil lose the match? No. Brazil did not lose the match. It could have drawn, it could have won. But what is the answer to this question? If someone asks you after the match, did Brazil lose? What will you say? You will say, no, they did not lose. No, they did not lose. And if they did not lose, you are confident about it. You have found out a unique answer by combining the two statements. So you have figured it out. The data is sufficient. By combining the two statements, you can answer. What will you mark? You will mark 3 because you have solved it after combining the two statements. I hope you found this session on data sufficiency useful. Please provide feedback via Twitter or via email. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.